My tripod is hecka unstable right now, so it can be tall enough that you can see me, but I'm just gonna have to live with that. Hello, my writing pals and my reading pals. It's me, ya girl, Xanna, and today we are doing a bookshelf challenge. So, I just got back from being out of state on a bit of a family-ish matter. You know, things happen, life happens. I was gone for a week. My book comes out next week through the Violet Redwoods. In fact, when you're watching this, it may be up for pre-order. I'll keep you posted about that. This is the Bookshelf Scavenger Hunt. The first book I need to be looking for is a book with deckled edges. And for that, I'm going to direct your attention to my brown bookshelf. And we are going to grab The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest. This book does in fact have deckled edges. I bought this book for the sole factor that it had deckled edges and it talked about magic and witchy things, and I'm very intrigued by books with magic and witchy things, so I got it. The next one is a book with 3 or more people on the cover, and I know for a fact I do not have a book with any more than 2 people on the cover. I have Wicked Fox. Wicked Fox has 2 people on it. 2 people is the closest I could get to 3 people, so no. I don't even think I have a book in my e-library with 3 people on it. I have a book with 3 characters elements on it. Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett has 3 swords on it representing 3 characters and a challenge and a task that a character has to go through. Does this count? Number 3 is a book based off of another fictional story. And if you guys know me pretty well, you would know that I love myself a good fairy tale retelling. I'm a little picky with them, but I love them so much. So the book I'm gonna go with this one is Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling of sorts, and I think it's really interesting. She has another fairy tale retelling called Crimson Bound. Crimson Bound is embossed in green and Cruel Beauty is embossed in red. I think Cruel Beauty came out first, so it makes sense why Crimson Bound didn't get the red in that case. Question 4 is a book that's title is 10 letters long. 10 letters long. 10 letters. All right, I had to move my light really quick because I'm standing right under a warm bulb, and so it just looks weird. Anywho, I came up with a book pretty quickly, and it is actually the oldest book that I own on my shelf that I personally own, that I bought. That is Splintered by A.G. Howard. This book has gone through a lot of love. Lent it to some people. It's seen some better days. One of the things I really love about the Splintered series, 1, it is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, but 2, A.G. Howard's books are in colored ink. Splintered is written in a purple ink, and I think that's really, really pretty. But yes, S-P-L-I-N-T-E-R-E-D, Splintered. Did I just spell splintered wrong? S-P-L-I-N-T-E-R-E-D. Hopefully I spelled that right for you guys. A book that starts and ends with the same letter. Song of the Forever Rains by E.J. Mello. Starts with an S, ends with an S. I think that counts. The next question is, do I have a book that is a mass media paperback? I think I do. I'm not entirely sure though, but I think the copies of Lord of the Rings. Let me just throw all my decorations everywhere. I believe these copies of the Lord of the Rings that I am borrowing from my boyfriend's mother are in fact old mass media paperback books. They have the look and size of a mass media paperback. These are gorgeous, gorgeous little old books. I think they are phenomenal. I know for a fact I do not have one with the next prompt, which is an author that writes using a pen name. I would not be sure. The only one that I could possibly think of is Wicked Kingdom. And that's only because it's a James Patterson Presents. So I think those are just he gets ideas and he tells other authors and they write them. But it could also be him writing under a pen name, which he doesn't do. He writes in a very large category of stories and he always uses his name or a slight variation of his name. So I don't know. Let me just fix my bun real quick while I talk. A book with a character's name in the title. With this one, I'm gonna hope, maybe, does this count? Does eldest count? I think eldest counts. Let's play the How Often Can Xanna Change Her Lighting in a Video Game? I think I've got a lot of points. Next is a book with 2 maps in it. Again, I know I do not have a book with 2 maps in it. Unless it's a book that I'm currently reading and I just haven't gotten to the end and there's like a map in the front and the back. Could be the case. I don't know if it's the case. If anyone knows that you watched my bookshelf tour and you saw all my books, if you know that I have a book that has 2 maps in it, do let me know in the comments down below. Next up is a book that has been turned into a TV show. I'm going to cheat just a tiny touch and do a book that is currently going to be turned into a TV show, and for that I'm going to use A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Fun fact, I painted the edges of this book. Next up is a book written by someone who is famous for something else, either being like a celebrity or a politician, yada yay, yada you. I think I have a book that fits this. I don't know a lot about all of the authors on my shelves. I don't necessarily do a deep dive into authors and things of that nature, but I do know that the author of Eyes in the Woods, Eden Fierce, her mother is a famous author. So I think by association, she's like the daughter of a famous author who wrote a book. I haven't been keeping track about how well I'm doing editing Xanna. Let me know my total right here so far. How many out of how many? Next up is a book with a clock on the cover, and I'm looking at my books, trying to find a clock. I don't think I have one. I mean, let me check over here. I know my covers pretty well. That doesn't have a clock. In here have a clock? No clocks. Next question. Do I have a poetry book? I have a book that has a lot of poetry in it. That is Little Birds by Hannah Lee Kidder. My physical copy is with someone at the moment. Other than that, I have my own book, Through the Violet Redwoods, which is a collection of short stories and poems, so it's not exclusively poetry. Depending on when this video goes up, my collection of darker short stories and poems, Through the Violet Redwoods, will be available for pre-order. So go check that out. It comes out October 19th. Spoopy, short stories, poems, just in time for Halloween. A book with an award stamp on it. I've got this one because I literally just looked at it. The Tale of Despero. I read this so long ago as a wee little lass. This has the John Newbery medal on it. Yeah, this is a book with an award stamp on it. And this is back when they printed them on the books instead of sticking them on with a sticker. Isn't that just nice? You wanna know how old The Tale of Despero is, that copy that I have? I got it from Hastings. Anyone remember what Hastings was? I do, I miss it. An author with the same initials as me. So my initials are XR, I am Xanna Renee. Let's see if I can find an author with at least an R as a first or last name. Oh, Rosamund Hodge. I already showed Cruel Beauty, so I will show you Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. R for Renee. H for Hodge. HR. The initials are HR. I am XR. If you turn an X on its side, it kind of... No? I'll say it counts. What's the next question, you ask? A book of short stories? Why, I don't think I had enough time early to talk about Through the Violet Redwoods, a collection of short stories and poems that lean on the darker side and explore the darker emotions that we ourselves are a little bit too afraid to express sometimes. Some of the stories have the emotions a bit more subtly woven into the story. Other times it's definitely a lot more raw on the page. I highly recommend you picking up a copy. $7.95 for the physical, $6.99 for the ebook. I don't think that's too bad. It's a nice little spoopy Halloween treat. A book that is between 500 and 510 pages long. I saw the number 500 and I immediately went to my book of Western literature, but I I think that has more than 510 pages. Let's look at Brassinger. This is a thick, chonky boy. Oh, hey, there's a map in the front of this, and then there's a map in the front and the back. It's the same map, though. Does that even count? Whoa, the page numbers are, like, on the side right here. Like, that's cool. I automatically open up to 524, so this has more than 510 pages. Fun fact, when a book has 500 pages, it is listed as a tome. This also has a map in the front, but it's the same map in the front and the back. I'm looking at Kingdom of the Wicked, 371. Nope. Come on, Princess Bride. Come on. Come on. Oh, we're close. Nah, just shy. Our Dark Duet, maybe? It's a bit of a hefty one. Our Dark Duet is exactly 510 pages long. I win. Few more questions to go. A book that was turned into a movie. I already grabbed Fellowship of the Ring, so I feel like grabbing any other Lord of the Rings book would be a little easy. And Dune. I am really excited for the new Dune movie that's coming out. I should probably get to finishing reading this. This was also a Christmas gift, so like, I should really read it. Dune is also like the only sci-fi book on my shelf. If you didn't watch my bookshelf tour, you'd know Dune is like the only sci-fi book I have. And if I really love Dune, I will be getting the other books in the series. Have no fears. Graphic novel. I don't think I have any graphic novels exactly. I know I had some manga not too long ago. I had Skip Beat. I think like the first one of Skip Beat. Oh my goodness, what was the other one? It was like this girl wanted to get a boyfriend, but she didn't know how to get a man, so this guy was gonna like be her boyfriend coach or something. I don't know, I never really read far into it, but I used to have those. I don't have any. Those are technically manga. They aren't actually graphic novels, so I guess I don't really have any graphic novels for my shelf. I should probably fix that someday. I read a lot of graphic novels online on my phone, on like Webtoons or Tapas or things like that. I guess those are also more like webcomic, but they're based off of novels, so would that make them a web novel? And the final scavenger hunt that I have to go on is a book written by 2 or more authors. I know exactly what book I'm grabbing because it's the only one that I can think of immediately that it was written by 2 authors. Deep into my green section. I read this book entirely too young, and that is House by Frank Peretti and Ted Decker. This is a Christian horror book. Or a horror book written by 2 Christians who write like thrillers and other things like that. This book has also been through the ringer. This wasn't mine before I got it. This was like my sister's or a cousin's. And then they read it and I read it and my younger sister read it and my other cousin read it and other cousins have read it and lots of people in my family have read this book. So this is technically older than Splintered, I think. But Splintered was actually mine and this was just passed down to me. But yeah, this is a book written by 2 authors. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this back in the green shelf where it belongs and then we will wrap up this video. Alright, my reading pals and my writing pals, that was exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this tag. I had a lot of fun being cute. Dang, does this blazer look good on me. Like, doesn't this just look... I think it looks phenomenal. Anywho, big thank you to anyone who's watched the video to this point. Let me know in a comment down below. Do you have a book for every single one of these scavenger hunt items? Editing Xanna, again, let me know how many books out of how many did I have. I feel like I nailed pretty much every single one, even if I used a couple of technicalities to get a couple points. My name is Anna Renee. I am a writer here on the YouTubes. I have a book coming up next week. It is titled Through the Violet Redwoods. You can get it on Amazon and hopefully like Barnes & Noble. And a bunch of other places. I'm still working on getting it listed everywhere, so by the time you're watching this, if it isn't up everywhere, and it's not October 19th, like, don't blame me, I'm doing my best. I am a one-woman show, okay? I'm a full-time college student, I take care of my home, I'm chronically ill, I'm working jobs, and I do a lot. I do a lot by myself, but yeah, I will be doing my best to get that up. You can find me here on YouTube about once a week with a fun bookish or writing related-esque video. I think the next video I want to do next week, is like stereotypical like dark academia like writer author clothing. I went thrifting recently and I found a couple of steals, and I think it would be a really fun video to do. I also want to talk a little bit more about dark fantasy with my dark fantasy collection of short stories and poems coming out. How many times can I mention my collection in this video? Not enough. I need to market it more. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at XannasBooks. I think I'll see you guys next time. Bye!